All thanks and praises due to the basis foundation. God is most great. None has the right to be worshipped but you. Hello everyone, it's Stepdogg the Hip Hop Prophet, and I'm here with the next video in the YouTube series. The name of this video is called The Book of Revelation Revealed, Part 26, The Woman and the Dragon, the 42 months following the Hour of Judgment. I'm going to start reading that now. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven say, "Now have come the salvation and power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Messiah. For the accusers of our brothers and sisters, who accuses them before our God day and night, has been hurled down. They triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. They did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you who dwell in them. But woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has gone down to you. He is filled with fury, because he knows that his time is short." When the dragon saw that he had been hurled to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child. The woman was given the 2 wings of a great eagle, so that she might fly to the place prepared for her in the wilderness, where she would be taken care of for a time, times, and half a time, out of the serpent's reach. Then from his mouth the serpent spewed water like a river to overtake the woman and sweep her away with the torrent. But the earth helped the woman by opening its mouth and swallowing the river that the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. Then the dragon was enraged at the woman and went off to wage war against the rest of her offspring, those who keep God's commands and hold fast their testimony about Jesus. Okay. Let me also give you a little more insight into my mother. My mother, Irene Janowski, she sold her soul to the devil when she was either 15 or 16 years old. And she sold her soul so that her first sexual experience could be with Paul McCartney. And the devil gave her what she wanted. Her first sexual experience was with Paul McCartney. It occurred after the show, the famous performance at Shea Stadium in 1965. And basically, this is what my mother agreed to. She was told, "You're going to give birth to the second Christ. And what you must do is keep the second Christ under wraps. When he does have a child, his firstborn son, you must give that son to the devil. The devil gets the second Christ's firstborn son." And my mother agreed to it. She's like, "Yeah, I don't care. If the devil wants my firstborn son's first son as well, the devil could have him. I want to have sex with Paul McCartney." And not only that, but, if your firstborn son tries to get out of hand, obviously, he's the one who defeats the devil, so you need to kill him if you don't. Now, basically, my mother failed to do that. But the devil still gets my firstborn son after my mother dies, or after I find my mother with a mark and she's going to die. So let me go into some explanations now. Now have come the salvation and power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Messiah. Okay, well that means after the hour of judgment, everybody's going to know that God is real and that I am the second Christ, and that, God has given me the authority to command people what they need to do, to not experience God's wrath. For the accuser of our brothers and sisters, who accuse them before our God day and night. Basically, what they're saying there is that the devil was always going to God and saying, oh, well, your servant is doing this and doing that, and basically, trying to accuse them of things they didn't do. Just like with Jesus, oh, your servant Jesus, he claimed to be the Son of God. He was referring to you as his Father, all this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And, okay, has been hurled down. Basically, the devil, after the hour of judgment, the devil is completely exposed. They triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb. That's the book of life and the golden rule. And by the word of their testimony. They did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you who dwell in them. But woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has gone down to you. He is filled with fury, because he knows that his time is short. Okay, well, basically, this whole section is just saying, be thankful and thank God, all the people that are following the golden rule and accept the book of life as the truth, the true story about, the prophets and, what God wanted people to know about God. And, then they say, woe to the earth, because the devil's time is short and the devil is exposed now. And that is right, because basically, after the hour of judgment, the devil has 42 months with my mother, and then after that, basically at the end of transition and after the bowls of God's wrath, the only thing the devil has is my firstborn son. So after that, after my firstborn son is executed for having a mark, the devil's trapped in the pit of hell for over 1,000 years and can't get out for any reason. So the devil knows that the devil's time is short now, and after the day of resurrection, it's over for the devil. After the day of resurrection with the 7 bowls of God's wrath, that's when God is getting rid of everybody who's left with a mark. You know what I mean? By the end of the 7 bowls of God's wrath, maybe a little time after that, all the marks will be gone. The last mark left on the planet will be, my son. Well, I should say it like this. All the marks of the people who were born before the hour of judgment will be gone. Everybody who has a mark, who was born before the hour of judgment, they will be dead and gone. So the devil knows, his time is almost up after the hour of judgment. Okay, when the dragon saw that he had been hurled to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child. After the hour of judgment, all of the devil's power and control and authority in any way is gone, except the devil still has 100% possession of my mother. So the devil didn't pursue my mother. The devil is actually with my mother. But then we get into, he pursued the mother who had given birth to the male child. The woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, so that she might fly to a place prepared for her in the wilderness, where she would be taken care of for a time, times, and half a time. Okay. So basically, after the hour of judgment, my mother is going to get on a plane and go wherever, her and my brother and my father and whoever else is helping her, the place where they decided this is where she's going to go and hide out. She's going to get on a plane and go there. And she's going to be there for a time, which is 1 year, times, which is 2 years, and half a time, which is a half a year. That's 3.5 years. That's 42 months. That's the 42 months following the hour of judgment, which is referred to as transition, which ends with the sounding of the 7 trumpets. Same 42 months. Basically, she gets to hide from me, because once she gets her mark, that's when I pursue her and I kill her. Then basically, okay. Then from his mouth the serpent spewed water like a river to overtake the woman and sweep her away with the torrent. Okay, well, basically what that is the devil wants her to die before the 42 months is up. But basically, let me read the next thing too. But the earth helped the woman by opening its mouth and swallowing the river that the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. Okay, so basically what happens is the devil wants my mother to basically, I guess you could say, be killed as soon as my firstborn son is born. But it's not going to happen like that. And it's not going to happen like that because of what I say. I'm the one who helps my mother out for these 42 months. Not in the sense of me wanting her to benefit in any way, but just by what I'm saying to you. I'm giving you God's plan, not the devil's plan, because the devil's plan is always a failed plan anyway. But basically, God's plan is, okay, your mother's going to be allowed to hide during the whole time of transition. She's not going to receive her mark. You're not going to know where she is. And that's God's decision. God's made that clear to me. And basically, the devil wants her to die as soon as my son is born so he could go right to the sun. And it's not going to happen like that. So that's the water being spewed out of the devil's mouth, trying to overtake her because the devil wants her to die, but she's not going to until the end of the 42 months. Now, then we get to this part. Okay, then the dragon was enraged at the woman and went off to wage war against the rest of her offspring, those who keep God's commandments and hold fast to their testimony about Jesus. Okay, so this is the point where I find my mother. Now the devil is with her, but once I show up and the devil sees me, the devil's gone. The devil's headed right for my firstborn son. And that's what it means when it says, the devil was enraged with the woman and went off to wage war against the rest of her offspring. Basically, the devil is going to wage war against me the rest of the time through my son. Those who keep God's commands and hold fast their testimony about Jesus. That's me. You know what I mean? I'm that guy. And basically, the devil is going to have control of my son and basically give me a hard time until my son receives a mark and I have to kill him. So, this is the section, the woman and the dragon. It's all about my mother, the fact that she sold her soul to the devil when she was a teenager. She's been a member of the Illuminati since then. And, basically in order for her first sexual experience to be with Paul McCartney, she did this and she offered my firstborn son to the devil. You know what I mean? And because God okayed, nothing happens without God okaying it. God okayed it. So the devil does get my firstborn son, no matter what. Or at least he gets to try to possess my firstborn son, no matter what, after my mother is gone. So, this is The Woman and the Dragon is all about my mother, Irene Janowski. That's The Woman and the Dragon. All thanks and praises due to the Basis Foundation. God is most great. None has the right to be worshipped but you.